Okay, guys, and we're back with another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest. I'm Seth from the Lonely Stoner podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Canelo fighting William Scull this weekend. Of course, William Scull in his own right is I believe, IBF super middleweight champion. Obviously, Canelo is one of the pound-for-pound greats. He's personally on my Mount Rushmore of boxers, but he's coming back and he's fighting at super middleweight to once again grab another belt, unify the division once again. And I know there's going to be a lot of talk about, Canelo and William Scull, because obviously this is a big weekend for boxing. And obviously, when you look at the two of them, William Scull looks a lot bigger than Canelo in terms of height. I know William Scull's billed at 5'11", but I'm hearing rumours that he's, and he looks a lot bigger than 5'11" too, but I'm hearing rumours that he's maybe 6 foot, 6'1", maybe 6'2". Now, he's big for super middleweight for sure, and he looks even bigger against a guy like Canelo, who, in all truthfulness, isn't really even a super middleweight. He's not even a big super middleweight. I think, obviously, we remember his run at light heavyweight. He won a world title, but, he wasn't a big a 75 or at light heavyweight. He was a very small light heavyweight. But he's got huge power, and he's a great boxer, so he's able to get by on that. But just because he goes back down to super middleweight, don't think he was a big super middleweight that went up to light heavyweight to be a small light heavyweight. No, he's a small super middleweight too. Really, if you look at Canelo's dimensions, he's really a middleweight. He's really a 160 fighter. But understand, at this point of his career, the amount of miles he's got on his clock, him making 160 probably won't be particularly easy. But obviously, looking at, the height difference, William Scull towers over Canelo. But in my opinion, I don't think that's... Of course it's a factor. Of course it's going to be a factor. He's going to have the height and reach advantage. And in a world title fight, of course it's going to matter. But a guy like Canelo, like I'm saying, where he's a small light heavyweight, a small super middleweight, he's used to being the smaller man. And one of the best part of Canelo's game is his offensive defense. The fact that he will walk you down and throw shots to you. He'll walk you down and you can't land on him. Right? Canelo... he's a guy, like I said, he's on the Mount Rushmore of boxers for me. You look at his resume, he's won be a who's who. He's fought a who's who and beat a who's who of everyone, all the top names at, middleweight, super middleweight. He didn't fight all the top names at light heavyweight, but, he wasn't at light heavyweight for very long. Of course, beat Kovalev in probably what will go down as one of the best wins of his career when he won the light heavyweight title. Of course, huge wins over guys like Belanga, Munguia, Triple G, of course, Billy Joe Saunders. I could go on and on about Canelo's resume, right? But William Scull's resume, on the other hand, not so good. I think the only guy who he's fought that's got a Wikipedia page is his last win, which was literally his win for the IBF super middleweight title. So, not a ton of expectation on William Scull here, which, to be fair, might not be a bad thing, but when you're facing Canelo, you're facing, one of the greats, one of the all-time greats, a guy who started his career at, I believe, 154. Yeah, I believe he started his career at 154, and, has gone all the way up to 175, winning world titles in each weight division. Like I said, at those sorts of weight divisions, very, very rare that does that happen, right? So when you're in the ring with Canelo, you're in there with elite company, and I don't think William Scull's quite at that level, despite potentially maybe having some of the tools that could cause Canelo a problem. But over 12 rounds, I don't see William Scull being quite good enough of a boxer, and I don't see William Scull, more importantly, being able to take the shots that Canelo's going to be dishing out for 12 rounds. So for me, in my opinion, the easy money, the obvious money goes on Canelo, and that's who my money's going to be on for this fight. But yeah, let me know what you think of this fight. Do you think it's going to be an easy win for Canelo? And depending on the result, what's next for each man? But another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.